Today we're being joined by one of the newest West Coast Eagles AFLW recruits, Annabel Johnson. Annabel, thanks for coming on.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
No worries. So obviously you moved from Geelong and then moved now to the Eagles. What prompted the move to decide to join the Eagles?
Yeah, I guess I'm very grateful to have been able to be at Geelong for 3 seasons now. So that's where I started playing football in general, and then they gave me obviously an opportunity to be on the list. So yeah, I had a great time there, and then I have felt the need to kind of have a new challenge in a new kind of environment, bit of a fresh start sort of thing. So I've had a few injuries along the way. So I think just the challenge of a new environment was something that was really appealing.
So did the injury play a part this year, the knee injury, did that play a part in making the move? Like if that had happened, hadn't happened, would the answer be different, or was it still something you're always considering, injury or not?
No, it didn't have a part in it. My mum actually lives in Western Australia as well, so that was definitely a big pull. But no, that was just a bit of an unfortunate incident, and not related. It was more just the challenge of going into an environment where I don't actually know any of the players, like I've never met them before, and environment sort of thing. So yeah, a bit of a challenge in that aspect was something that's really exciting, and a young group that's on a bit of a build is very exciting.
So obviously you mentioned that your mum's in WA, so I guess that made the decision a bit more easier to move over to Perth.
Yeah, absolutely. She's been over there for 3 years now, so that was a nice little swaying vote.
Yeah. So how would you assess your time at Geelong? As you said, obviously been there for 3 seasons, playing 16 games. So how would you feel your time was at Geelong?
I loved it. It was really good. I'm from a small country town, Echuca, so moving down to Geelong was a bit of a big step for me in that sense. And I really kind of went into like the Geelong family well. I've made a lot of friends and good relationships with the staff. So very grateful for my time there. And yeah, it was just a really positive experience, and it was just kind of part of my journey, and now I'm on to the next chapter sort of thing.
So all the way back in the draft, you're at pick 15 in the 2021 draft. How was that time and night for you, and how did you feel going in compared to how you came out of it?
Yeah, that was a very stressful night. It was like during the COVID times. I was back home in Echuca. It was my brother's birthday. I couldn't get the stream to go. I was getting a bit nervous that they weren't going to say my name. So I was very relieved after they actually read out my name, and then it all kind of got going from there. But it was very stressful, actually. I was trying to play it very cool, but I was quite nervous.
At that stage, did you feel that Geelong were a club of interest at that point, or an extreme interest to the point where they would select you?
Geelong were the only club, because I had only just started playing that year. So I just started playing in the VFL with them. So no one knew who I was, or there was no interest except for them. So I was lucky to get picked up.
That's good. So obviously made your debut in round 1 of 2022 for Geelong against North Melbourne at Arden Street. How was that day for you, and how was, even outside of the result, how was the experience to make your debut in general? Yeah,
that was unbelievable. I remember catching the bus down, and I was on the bus, and then I remember walking in, I saw some Fox cameras and stuff like that, and I don't normally get very nervous, but I've never been more nervous in my life, and I was like, this is a crazy experience. It was really good. I got stuck on the bench. I remember the ball was in the D50 a lot, so I couldn't get on the ground. I was getting a bit antsy on the bench, but it was always nice. I think I've always imagined for the last 5 years or so, I've always imagined how it would go in a game, and to actually experience it and be like, okay, I am good enough to be out here sort of thing was a nice moment for me. And then, like a nice kind of tick of the box thing to then hopefully get a few more games under the belt.
So you mentioned too about just coming into footy in that year. So obviously you played soccer beforehand. What prompted the move to try and give footy a go?
Yeah, I've always loved footy. I've played Oz kick, and then I've always watched my brother play and been the water girl for him. So I've always been obsessed with footy. And then when it first started up, there was only a women's comp, and I was only 12 and pretty small little girl. So I kind of sticked with soccer and basketball for a bit. And then I always thought when I moved down to Geelong, pretty good comp up there, I'd start up. So moved down, then COVID happened, so you got pushed back a year. And then when I was in Geelong full time, then I thought I'd give it a crack, and then lucky enough to play in the VFL.
That's good. What would be one of your best games you feel for Geelong that you've had that's kind of got you to where you are, where West Coast has taken the shot on you?
Yeah, I feel like maybe one that springs to mind is actually the game that I broke my foot against West Coast in season 6. I remember I played a couple games before that, and that was the first time I kind of felt like I actually was starting to have a bit of impact on the game. It definitely wasn't the best game I've ever played, but it was kind of a time where I thought I can kind of have an impact on the game. So I didn't get to play the rest of the season after that, which was fine. But then I know going into the next season, I had a lot more confidence and kind of knew what I had to do and had the ability to do it. So was very keen to do that.
So in the process of moving to the Eagles, was it always going to be the Eagles, or was there some other clubs you were looking between as well?
I think it's a bit of an awkward one, isn't it? Like the Eagles I really like their program, and I like the kind of the direction that they're going in. So I think overall the Eagles are somewhere that I'm really happy to be, and someone like a club that I think is just on a nice trajectory. So yeah, I think the Eagles would.
Yeah, obviously they brought in a few new recruits. Who are some players of the new recruits, or some of the current players that have been there this season that you're looking forward to playing alongside and a meeting as well?
Yeah, it can't be Charlie Thomas, the old Australian. Bella Lewis, I really like her game as well. And then coming over as well, Jess Hosking. I think she's just going to be a great addition. The way she goes about it, and her leadership will be massive for the group, I reckon. And they're probably 3 that come straight to my mind.
Yeah. What would you say is a favourite memory you've had at Geelong that you feel that you always will remember after being there for 3 seasons?
My favourite, I would say the first thing that comes to my mind is like the players. Like there's some lovely people in that program and in the team, so I'll always like have those connections strong. And then probably a game would be, I think maybe the first final, even though we didn't beat North, that was kind of, I think that's the beginning of the path that they're on now. After 2 seasons of kind of being on a build and then now kind of stamping their authority as a powerhouse team. So I would say maybe that, even though it was a terrible night and it wasn't a very good result, but I think it ignited the off season and the trajectory that they're on as well.
Obviously, as we mentioned before, too, having a knee injury this year, how have you coped with that, and how's the progress in it now?
Yeah, it's gone really good now, thanks, which is good to set me up for the off season. It was a challenging year with the knee. It was a bit of a weird one. So I think it was some of the positives that I got to take away from it was I got to sit in the box for some of the games with the coaches and see it a bit from their point of view. So I think just being, I think I've had a bit more of a coaching style approach of like watching. I haven't been doing any coaching, but being able to kind of have that view of the game this year has been a different experience and something that would have helped my game, even though I wasn't able to be out there, but helped my game and hopefully my teammates along the way.
I know it's still a while away, but would coaching ever be something you'd like to look into?
Yeah, I think so. I last year I did a bit of a development coach role with the Geelong Falcons in the girls team. So I was surprised by how much I really enjoyed it. It was lots of fun, and yeah, it was. I really enjoyed doing it in the off season when it's kind of not about you and you can kind of help some other people. So I think I could imagine myself at the end of my career looking at something like that.
That's good. Now, Daisy Pearce as coach must be a nice ring to it, a nice convincing factor to join the Eagles as well.
Oh, I still can't believe it. I couldn't be more perfect if you tried. Like she I don't think you could get anyone more perfect for the role as well, and the development and the build that the girls, the group's hopefully going to go on. So yeah, I couldn't be more happy or excited about that.
That's good. So have you had a chance to meet Daisy officially yet, or any of the newer players?
All the girls have been lovely so far. So I had heaps of messages, and then I have met Daisy before when she was at Geelong. So
of course.
So we kind of know each other a bit through that, and then I've talked to her a couple of times. So yeah, she's a legend.
That's good. Who would you say is one of your favourite teammates that you've had at Geelong that you're probably going to miss a little bit to move away from?
First one that comes to my mind, Chantal Emerson. She's just a legend. She's just such a hard worker and a good person, and she's someone that I always knew was in my corner. So I love playing with her and Shelley Scott because she's a legend as well. Just tough as, just goes about her business, and yeah, she's a really good leader for that group. So those two come straight to my mind.
For Eagles fans listening to this, what type of defender would you best describe yourself as?
I would hope that people would just think I'm a bit of a competitor. So I think that I don't really like to lose. So I hope that it'll be someone that doesn't give up and is quite tough and reliable, hopefully. So we'll see.
This is what the Eagles list manager wrote in the quote on the club's website. It's a small defender who disappointingly missed most of the season through injury, a real competitor, she mentioned, who has wonderful vision in traffic and reads the ball coming into the back line extremely well, and a great person who's going to fit into this type playing group really well. So pretty much some of what you said there.
Thanks, Billy.
Nice compliment as well. Obviously, Danielle Ponter kicked a good goal at the start of the year from a centre square. Obviously, had a bit of luck. Do you feel that you'd be able to replicate that moment, or any teammate that could, or thinks they can but they really can't?
I absolutely could not do that. She's kicked a good as goal on me as well. I remember I was chasing her. Who could do that? Maybe Ella Roberts could do something like that, I feel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any nicknames you get?
Just Belle. Every now and then an odd Jono, but that doesn't come that often. So
nice and basic. That's good.
Yeah.
Did anyone at Geelong have any coaches' pets?
Coaches' pets. I like to think, who would be a coach's pet? Maybe I'll just say Georgie Rankin.
That's fair enough. Any outside of footy interests? You mentioned about doing some coaching. So do you got any other outside of footy interests?
Yeah, I'm studying primary school teaching, so I'm into my last year of that. So I like stuff like that. I worked at Cedar when I was in Geelong for a couple of years, so that was like a bit of a sports program, so that was nice fun. I liked working with the older kids there. Like walking the dogs. Yeah.
Good. Any favourite TV shows or movies?
Favourite TV show, maybe like One Tree Hill or Friends.
That's a good one. Classic for Friends. Now, obviously, haven't kicked a goal yet in AFLW. Obviously, being a defender, it's almost impossible to get one. Are you ever going to try and sneak down the forward line to get one?
I would love that. I don't know what I'd do if I kicked a goal. I'd be pretty awkward about it. But I do dream most nights about kicking a goal. So hopefully this season it comes true.
Very true. Who do you feel is the best player in the competition? Because obviously it's so even this year. I know Mon Conti won by 7 votes in the BNF night, but it's really so even. You obviously got Mon and you got Laura Gardner, Jazz Garner, Ash Riddell, Ebony Marinoff. Who would you feel is the best player in the competition? Because it's hard to choose.
There is a lot, which is very exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I really like Jazz Garner. I also love Ian Hatchard. I just think she's a bull. And then my favourite player in the AFLW is Kate Hawkes. I just think like the impact she can have on a game is just she doesn't need to touch the ball like 30 times, but she could touch it 20 and just like 4 goals, which is ridiculous. So she's been my favourite player for a long time, and I really like the way she goes about it. Oh, Tyler Hanks as well. He's got some nice skills. Yeah. Yeah,
they're both those two Melbourne girls that you just mentioned, Tyler Hanks and Kate, are obviously joint winners in their BNF, and obviously Kate was a joint goal-kicking winner with her own teammates, so they can't get the teammates away from getting an award individually. But yeah, she had a terrific season for sure. Who loves the limelight, the attention, the camera at Geelong? Because obviously I know there's got to be some because they got their own podcast and they seem to love it too.
I don't know. Like a lot of the girls, they just go about their business. I think I don't think they give too much away. So maybe I'll just say the Irish girls because they hate the camera really, but I like to say that they like it. So I'll say maybe the Irish trio.
That's fair. That's good. Good
Yeah.
choice. If you could poach any player or players from another club to join West Coast, who would you like to poach and why?
Well, I won't say Kate Hawke because I already said her. Who do I really like? Maybe I do like Ponter as well. She could be good in the forward line, or maybe I'd like to play in the back line with someone like Ruby Slasher. Maybe she'd be good.
Good answer. It's a good answer. What's something someone does at the club that you cannot stand so at Geelong? Was there anyone that had any quirks or something that just got really annoying, like trying to scare people or anything in particular coming to mind?
No, nothing that comes to mind. No, I think like I was saying, the girls are they don't give too much away. They just go about their business and get it done on the track. So nothing jumping out to me, no.
It's fair. Obviously, you mentioned about playing soccer. How were you as a soccer player?
Geez, I tell you what, watching all the Matildas and stuff like that, I kind of feel like I want to play, but I don't think I'd be very good because I'm not very fast. So I used to think, I can't remember a whole lot about it, but I used to play with the boys. I think I was okay, nothing too special. Just a bit of a defender that would just slide across and save the day, but then probably turn it back over again. So probably just pretty average, I reckon.
Okay, well, that's better than bad.
Yeah.
And a defender in both sports as well. Who would you say was the toughest opponent you've had in AFLW so far that you've had to match up on?
Who would it be? A couple of times when Chloe Molloy or Jana come and rest in the forward line, that would be a bit. Probably Jazz Garner when she comes and rests in the forward line. I wouldn't like that too much.
That'd be a tough task for sure. Mark or Goal of the Year, which one would you rather do?
Oh, I would love Mark of the Year. I dream about that one most nights as well. Yeah, that would be unreal. Imagine getting some actual hang time.
Sorry, what's that?
Imagine just getting some hang time and sitting up there. That'd be nice.
That'd be pretty good. And I mean, it depends what position you play, really. If you're a forward, you probably kick goal of the year before or have those type of shots. When Mark, it can be a bit hard no matter what position you play, especially for a taller player. I find it might be a bit harder for them as well because of their height. Unless you're Jeremy Howe, you don't do it regularly.
Yeah, he's unreal, isn't he? I don't know how he does it. Yeah.
I know, unbelievable. Week in and week out, he can just pull that out like it's nothing. Now, interstate trips, obviously you're making the move to the west, so obviously you'd have to be a fan of some interstate trips because the Eagles generally have a fair few.
Yeah, hopefully I get a few frequent flyer points with that. I might have to buy some new headphones as well, I reckon. I think I'll be doing quite a few of them, so that'll be it should be good. I always think that when you go away on trips, it's a nice opportunity to bond and I guess I'll really get to know the girls pretty quickly, which will be nice.
Very sure. Who's some teammates either at Geelong or now that you feel watching from afar at West Coast that you've been impressed by that probably don't get appreciated as much as they should, and they don't get talked up as much as some of the others do?
Yeah. At Geelong, I think Chantal Emerson, she's just a gun. So she probably doesn't get as much attention as she deserves for what she does for the team.
Yeah.
Some other people would be Claudia Gunjaka. She's starting to get a bit of attention, which is nice. She's solid down there. And then who else would be a little Darcy Maloney? Love Darce. She's probably got she got a rising star nom, but she's a hard worker.
Cool.
And then at West Coast, I think I really like the way Bella Lewis goes about it. So I think she could get a bit more attention. But I mean, who knows? Who knows? I think
very true. Now, I think I know the answer to this with you being a defender, but do you feel that the defenders deserve a bit more love and attention in terms of an official title? Because obviously the midfielders get the Brownlow and Ruckman even starting to get noticed in Brownlow votes as well. And then obviously the forwards got their Coleman race. Do you feel the defenders should have their own title?
Yeah, we should get like a golden fist, I think, like the Danny Froley Award. I think that'd be nice. We'll put it on the
That's right.
show and just have a golden fist for the best spoil, something like that.
That's right. Spud was probably one of the only public figures I was supposed to have. I know it was official or whatever you want to call it, but he had his own form, and it was actually pretty cool because it's only directed towards defenders, just like those other 2 awards are.
Absolutely, yeah. And if you got to win a car, that'd be nice too. So we should make that happen.
Of course, there we go. We're going to make that happen too. Any advice for any young girls or boys who want to play AFL or AFLW, and some advice you'd give them how to handle the period into going into the draft periods?
I think going into a draft period, it's obviously quite a stressful time, but I think that going into it, if you know that you've done everything that you can, then I think it sounds a bit like cliche, and you probably can't do it, but maybe just enjoy the process, because once it does happen, and probably a lot of things are going to change. And then if you do enter into the system, a lot of things change. But if it doesn't happen, then there's still a lot of things that you can do to make it happen, or there's just a different path that maybe you can go down. So I guess, and then once you are in the system, like, I think maybe being in control of your body kind of thing. So knowing what works for you and what might not work for other people, but kind of figuring out what works for you, and then trusting yourself that you can do what you need to do to make yourself the best player.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I want to wrap it up with a quiz. I really appreciate you coming on, Annabel. Now, how well do you feel your new teammates?
Oh, not too bad.
Sorry.
No, I'm nervous, actually.
Well, luckily for you, I had done this with probably half the guests that I've had, and which is well over 15, and I don't think any butchered it to the last few interviews I've done where someone stuffed a question up. So now you wouldn't be the only one. So if you do, you're not the only one. Now, so how it'll work, it is 3 current listed West Coast AFLW players. You'll get 2 clues, and then you'll have to take a guess. And if you get that wrong, I'll give you one more final clue, and then you'll have to get it for the second one. How do you think you're going to go?
I'm a bit nervous, yeah.
All right. So I'll start easy. Question 1. They were a rising star contender this year.
Ella Roberts.
And they can play in most positions. What's that?
Sorry, I missed the second clue.
That's right. So they're a rising star contender, and they can play in most positions. They were up there in the rising star this year too. I think they were 3rd.
Before we continue, I should just say that I feel like I didn't watch a whole lot of footy this year, but I'll just put that out there. I might need another clue. What does their name say?
It's all right. It starts with an E.
Oh, is it Ella Roberts?
Yes. Boom.
Oh, I said that at the start.
You did. I know. Yeah. Ella Roberts is it. That's one. Tick. Right. Question 2. This is their 4th club. So West Coast is their 4th club. They joined in the recent trade period. So that's the first 2 clues.
Brennan.
Yep. Ali Drennan. Yep. That's it. Boom. That's 2 for 2. Good job. Now, I want to explain why this third one after the question, because this is sometimes the one that tricks people. So, final one, question 3. This player is a defender. They've currently played 16 AFLW games.
Is it me?
Yes, it is. Yeah, what's funny about that, well, I'm getting 3 for 3, but also, too, generally every time I put this question about themselves to every individual I've had on, they seem to struggle more with that one than they do with questions about their teammates, or in your case, new teammates. So it's very interesting how it works, but you did it perfectly. Annabel, I really appreciate you coming on. All the best at the Eagles, and hopefully it's a long, successful career there for you, and consistency, no more injuries, and play regularly. So appreciate you coming on.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Thank you.